Hi, I'm Kevin Kitagawa, and I'll be your chairperson for today's adult service. Before we begin this morning service, just a reminder, so no food and drinks in the Hondo. And if you have your cell phone, just go ahead and please turn it off or silence the ringtone on others. Okay, thank you very much. Do you know if we have anyone here who's here for the first time? Oh, do you feel comfortable about introducing yourselves, or? Okay. Oh, great. Oh, great. Well, welcome, stuff like that. And how about you guys? Yeah. Oh, great. Well, welcome to you too, as well. Thank you for coming. Okay. Sorry, one more. Oh, wow, big crew. Yeah. Okay. Oh, oh, great. Well, okay. Oh, awesome. Stuff like that. Well, welcome to San Jose. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, right. Well, thanks again for all you newcomers here. Stuff like this. It's great to see sort of new faces and stuff like that. So, okay, we'll begin this morning's service. Okay, with Sambujo, which is on page 24 in the large service book, followed by sutra chanting, Juseige on. Oop, I don't have the page number here, but it'll be showing up on the screen there. Okay, in the small Dharma school service book, and as well as in the large service book itself. The page numbers for the sutra book will be displayed on that front screen there, okay, and on your monitors at home, so please follow along.
Namanda, 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 namanda. 센셔먼 버서저만석 이여러 제법 내칭한 셔저기 행kom흥엔 이셔가이호서 거세권너구험 저나이셔저 샘머시싱어 그여 이사이벗 가성어셔 동무헌 간내시처교마 동무 이상가이업 염은멍해지 전한미화셔 강가그에리 도시사이셔선 싱한야고가 나이센오간노 버그셔텐닌 싱어 동음 연어세 일사이 오호든 원아이신 나만다 나만다 우스 나만다 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 우스 나만다 나만다.
Okay, please rise to sing the Gatha We Are One, which is the first song in this yellow handout, the Gatha book. And after the song, please remain standing for the three treasures, which are going to be on page 3, okay, in the small Dharma School service book.
Come gather round and hand in hand, listen to Amida's teachings. Listen with your heart, listen with your mind to Amida Buddha's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu, singing Namo Amida Butsu. All of the world is bright, singing Namo Amida Butsu. peace and harmony in Amida's land. Peace and harmony within me. Put our hands together, bow our heads, thankful for Amida's Tilda. Namo Amida Butsu, singing Namo Amida Butsu. All of the world is bright, singing Namo Amida Butsu. We are one. We are one. If you would please now join the reading of Three Treasures and on page 3 in the small Dharma School service book. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together become submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony and universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages and myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Okay, now we'll have Dennis Akizuki will give this morning's Dharma talk.
Please join me in Gassho in reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here this morning, and thank you to those who are watching us on YouTube. So we talk a lot about gratitude in Jodo Shinshu. Gratitude is like one of the foundational concepts of Shin Buddhism. If you look at the Buddhist Churches of America website, it reads at the top, BCA, Life of Gratitude. So Shinran believed that gratitude is a key element to accessing the Dharma, allowing one to open their heart and mind to wisdom, ultimately leading to a path to happiness, harmony, and freedom. And by the way, the previous description was according to AI. I looked it up, and AI came up with that. I said, that was pretty cool. There's a lot to be grateful for, and you know, we know some of the things we should be grateful for, but there are a lot of other things that we don't know about, we don't think about, but we should be grateful for them nevertheless. So again, being grateful in Shin Buddhism is the assurance of Amida Buddha that guarantees a path for everyone to enlightenment. But we say Namo Amida Butsu for that assurance. But we say Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude for the other things in life. You know, again, we have much to be grateful for. Just thinking about all the things, the people, events that have helped and influenced us, it can actually stagger the mind, right? Kind of blows your mind. And as Reverend Mikama said last month, there's gratitude for things that didn't happen, maybe that you expected to happen. In Reverend Mikama's case, because she had a problem with her visa, she expected she would have to go back to Japan last year. It's still pending, but she's with us. She's still with us. we're grateful for that thing that didn't happen, right? And along those same lines, again, we know just a fraction of the causes and conditions that result in us being here in this place at this time. All the connections had to fall into place for us, for this exact moment to happen. And we don't usually think about those causes and conditions. And again, in fact, a lot of those time, we're not aware of those causes and conditions. Let me give you one example. Have any of you heard of Nisaburo Hirano? Nisaburo, Nisaburo Hirano. Nisaburo Hirano. Nobody? Actually, don't be worried, because I didn't hear about Nisaburo Hirano until just recently myself. The only reason I came across him is doing research for a class I'm leading for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts to earn their religious badge. So who was Nisaburo Hirano? He was an Issei, a first-generation Japanese immigrant to the United States. He came to San Francisco in 1891 at the age of 22. And I read that there were slightly more than 2,000 Japanese in the United States in 1890, the year before he came here. So kind of one of the first Japanese immigrants to the United States. Hirano was a devout Buddhist, but at the time, there were no temples. There were no ministers in the United States. Now, you could say, but in Hawaii, there were ministers. Yes, but Hawaii wasn't part of the United States. Hawaii, there were ministers a few years before that. But Hirano was kind of troubled by the lack of spiritual guidance, the lack of opportunity to hear the Dharma. Like other Issei immigrants, language was an issue for him. He only spoke Japanese. So he enrolled in a class at the Methodist Church to learn English. And as you might expect, the pastor of the church, also Japanese, tried to persuade him to convert to Christianity. Hirano refused. 6 years later, 1897, Hirano went back to Japan for a visit. While in Japan, he visited Nishi Honganji, the main temple for our sect of Buddhism. And on that particular day, as it turned out, there were priests outside assigned to answer questions from people who attended service. Hirano used that opportunity not necessarily to ask questions, but to inform the priests about the situation in San Francisco, probably mentioning the efforts of Christians to convert Buddhists. He asked the Honganji to send priests to the United States. So you would think that the Honganji probably had heard about this situation from Japanese diplomats. A Japanese consulate had opened in San Francisco in 1870. But this was an in-person plea from a Shin Buddhist, not a government official. So I would think that might have made more of an impression on the Honganji. There are actually some indications that government officials feared introducing Buddhism into the United States would create problems between the U.S. and Japan, the U.S. being primarily a Christian nation. So what happened? The following year, the Honganji sent 2 priests to the United States to kind of like do fact-finding. They toured California, Washington, British Columbia. And Hirano wasn't the only Japanese immigrant seeking to hear the teachings. The same year that those 2 ministers came to do some fact-finding, there was a young men's Buddhist association that had formed in San Francisco. They drafted a petition to the Honganji to start a Buddhist center headed by priests. 83 people signed the petition, which read, "In the 8 directions are non-Buddhist forces surrounding the Japanese Buddhists, and we cannot be at ease. It is as if we are sitting on the point of a pin. No matter how we move, we will be pricked. Our burning desire to hear the teachings is about to explode from every pore in our bodies." So the answer came a year later. On September 1st, 1889, Reverends Shuya Sonoda and Kakuryo Nishijima arrived in San Francisco, officially establishing Jodo Shinshu in the United States. They started services for Japanese and also services for non-Japanese. And by this time, about 1900, there were 25,000 Japanese living in the United States, most of them on the West Coast. And they call this the Jodo Shinshu Mission of North America. Temples were also formed shortly thereafter in Sacramento, 1899, Fresno, 1900, Seattle, 1901, Oakland, 1901, San Jose, 1902, Portland, 1903, and Stockton, 1906. Within 15 years, there were 25 temples and branches. In 1915, the mission sponsored the World Buddhist Conference during the Panama Canal Exposition held in San Francisco. Now, the Jodo Shinshu Mission of North America would eventually become the Buddhist Churches of America. Online, I read a chapter in a book about Buddhism, North American Buddhists in Social Context. There's a chapter titled The Buddhist Mission of North America, 1898 to 1942, and it recognizes Hirano's role in bringing Shin Buddhism to America. The book says, Hirano's, quote, verbal request is credited with providing the impetus for serious discussion on the part of Jodo Shinshu leadership regarding the potential establishment of a mission in the United States. By the way, the book also traces the use of church. Now, people wonder when they visit the church, non-Buddhists, why is this a church? Why is this not a temple? Well, it is a temple. We call it a church for a particular reason. And this book actually kind of traces this to a Reverend Koyu Uchida, who was the director of that Young Men's Buddhist Association in the early 1900s. And Uchida became the first bishop here in the United States. And he's the one who made the initial decision to adopt the title church rather than temple. Now, there's no documented reason for this decision, but the book says, quote, it may be reasonable to postulate that he and the local organizations that followed made this change in an attempt to fit in with the American religious sensibilities and public sentiment of the time. And the public sentiment was probably against Japanese Buddhists, so you can imagine what kind of, that's the nice version of the reason why, but it was probably racism and discrimination. By the way, the chapter in this book was written by Arthur Nishimura. And if that sounds familiar, Arthur Nishimura is Mas Nishimura's brother. And Mas Nishimura is a member of our temple. His father was a Buddhist minister. Back to Hirano. Now again, I never heard of Nisaburo Hirano before a few days ago. There's not much written about him other than in a history book of the BCA, 100-year anniversary of BCA. There's a history book and it writes a little bit about him. I did a Google search, couldn't find out anything new about him, except for a reference that there's a photo of him somewhere. And this photo of him is in the BCA archives. Actually, the BCA archives are now located at UCLA. So maybe one of these days, someone will go and look up his photo and get a copy, and we could share what he looks like. So I wasn't able to also find the names of the 83 people who signed that petition to the Honganji. So Hirano and those 83, they're among the many causes and conditions that brought us here this morning. Their role in the history of Jodo Shinshu in the United States remains largely unknown to people, even to Buddhists. But without them, we wouldn't be here today. Now, I'm not suggesting that Jodo Shinshu wouldn't have come to the United States without them. It probably would have at some point. But that path, that timeline, leads us here today. If it started later, who knows where this temple would be located? Who knows who would be here? So their contributions, their causes and conditions led us to this moment at this time. They advocated for Jodo Shinshu in a period of time which, again, was not necessarily hospitable to Japanese, and especially not hospitable to Japanese Buddhists. But they did so because of their conviction and their desire to hit Dharma. And their actions flows forward to us today. We have much to be thankful for. So, in gratitude to those 84 first-generation Japanese-American Buddhist immigrants, please join me in Gassho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. And now, would you please rise, okay, to sing the Gatha Ondokusan II on page 76 in the small Dharma School service book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
Okay, are there any announcements? I know Steve has one, but
Good morning. Thank you for being here. Last weekend, we had a wonderful Honko service. Honko service is one of the most important service in Jodo Shinshu, which is the founder Shinran Shoni's memorial service. And then for this special occasion, Dharma school kids and the teachers created the beautiful offerings, which were placed in the altar last weekend. And these offerings have now been taken down and placed on the display at the back of the Hondo over there near the entrance. So they are so colorful, beautifully crafted. So please feel free to take a look. But remember, no sneaking a taste, okay? Please, okay. The snacks offered on the Naijin will be shared next week at Osagari with those who attend the service. Osagari literally means a gift from the Buddha. In the Buddhist tradition, it is a meaningful practice to receive and enjoy the offerings made to Buddha after the service. So we hope you look forward to it. Thank you.
Good morning. So we'll have a Boy Scout talk about something's coming up, but I'll mention a couple of them as well. So last night, my wife and I have our normal conundrum of, what do you want to have for dinner tonight? What do you want to have what do you want to eat? And we hem about for like 10 minutes, and neither one of us can make a decision. So I'm here to help you with that, actually help me with that. So coming up on February 1st, in a couple weeks on Saturday, YBA is going to be having their annual spaghetti dinner. So he'll mention that, and he's also going to mention the Boy Scout family dinner coming on March 15th. So for me, that's good news because I don't have to think about what I'm doing for dinner those Saturday nights. So the other reason I'm up here is Rinban is holding one of his One Sangha events that we started last year. Last year, Rinban had these One Sangha events where we tried to get the Sangha to come together after service for a meal. So free lunch. So we did one with hot dogs one time, and I forgot what the other one was already. My brain's shot. So this time we're going to do that well-known Buddhist meal of chili. So we're going to be making chili. I think we're going to have maybe hot dogs along with that. Still to be decided, but Rinban wants chili and rice because that's so Buddhist. As you know, Rinban is from Hawaii, and that's a big deal in Hawaii, right? Chili and rice is big in Hawaii. So we've decided we need about 4 crock pots of chili, and he has twisted my arm for me or my wife to make one of them. So we need 3 more people to volunteer to do that. So if you are interested in being one of those volunteers, please contact Rinbon or me, and we'll get that done. But again, this is going to happen on Sunday, February 16th, so 4 weeks from today. And that'll occur right after this service. Okay? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Just a reminder again that we're having a fundraiser by showing this movie Hitohata. It'll be shown on Sunday, February 2nd. It's a fundraiser for the Dharma Center, continuing to fundraise for our project here. Hitohata is, I guess Dennis described it as a groundbreaking movie back in probably in the 70s or 80s, 1980, okay, 1980. But it was the first full-length movie written about the Japanese experience, written by Japanese American students. So I've never seen it myself, so I'm looking forward to it. I know I was reading about it, and 2 of the actors in it are Mako and Pat Morita. Now, this crowd probably knows who they are. I did the Dharma School one, and the Dharma School students are going, you know, who the heck is that? But fortunately, I think most of us recognize those names. So hopefully you'll join us. Looking forward to seeing that movie. Thank you.
Good morning. Our Troop 611 family dinner is coming up, and it will be held on Saturday, March 15th. For more information, we have a booth outside where we're also selling tickets. Also, my Boy Scout troop is having having an e-waste event next Saturday, January 25th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the 4th Street entrance to the education building. There's also a flyer in the Dharma newsletter with information on items that you can or can't bring. And also, I'm here on behalf of the San Jose Junior YBA, and we'll be hosting our annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser on Saturday, February 1st. Our tickets are $12 pre-sale, and for further information, you can visit our booth outside. Thank you.
Just a couple of things for BWA. One of them is we are selling botomochi and chirashi tickets for February 15th. So you need to buy those ahead of time. They're selling them outside at a table, and you can also buy them from the church office. And the other thing is we have our project for January and February, which is a food drive for the San Jose State Spartan Food Bank. So please bring your canned goods and also other items. There's an article in the Dharma, and also what you could donate or what they're in need of. So if you could take a look at that, that would be great. Thank you.
Good morning again. So just a note about Hitohata, because I know a little bit about this. So one of it's the first movie about Asian Pacific Americans, directed and produced by Asian Pacific Americans. One of the co-directors is from San Jose. His name is Dwayne Kubo. His family are longtime members of this temple. Friend Larry is a good friend of mine. And Dwayne is one of the co-directors. So Dwayne will be here for the showing. For those of you who are longtime San Jose residents, Dwayne is also well known because he was a member of the Moreland Little League team here in Campbell that won the Little League World Series. And the entire left side of the infield were Sanseis. There was Dwayne, and I hope I got this right, Von Takaha and Milt Murata. I think I got that right. But anyway, so you could talk to Dwayne about that if you come to the movie, talk his Little League experience too. The one thing I'm here to announce is, you know, we've all seen the devastation in the Southern California fires. What you may not know is that this fires destroyed houses and damaged houses of members of the Pasadena and West Los Angeles temples. In fact, the Eaton fire in Altadena came within one house of the Pasadena temple. Embers floated over into the temple grounds. Neighbors hopped the fence to put out the embers, along with Reverend Gibbs and some temple members who had arrived at the temple. But the Pasadena Temple has started a fund to help the members who are affected by the fire. You can find more information and a link to a fundraising page by looking for Pasadena Buddhist Temple's Facebook page and Instagram account. You can donate online, or you can send a check to the temple by mail. BCA is, I think, is expected to raise money to help fire victims, and we'll share that information when we receive it. So hopefully you can consider helping the Pasadena Temple Fund in the meantime. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Dennis Akizuki, Sumi Tanabe, organist Elaine Jones, and AV coordinator Steve Onishi. Okay, thanks for everyone for attending this morning's service, and thanks to all the new folks for coming today. We'll now have a closing gasho.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, please come forward for incense offerings, and then also afterwards, you can join us for refreshments in the garden. Oh, multi-purpose room, I guess it's too cold. Yeah, okay.